You know, we've always been bullish on fundamentals. Our downgrade was really based on the behavior of the leadership and Elon particularly over the last few months. But I think the numbers are solid. And if you think about the bear case just over the last year, it's been, you know, Tesla can't make the Model 3, to there's not enough demand for the Model 3, to they can't make money making the Model 3. And I don't know what people who are bearish on this stock have left. I mean, the cash flow numbers and the balance sheet look really solid.
That's rich, Romit. You downgraded the stock. You can't claim now that you've always been bullish and you don't know what the people that are bearish on the stock have left.
Well, you know, there's two parts to it, right? There's your fundamental view.
There's two parts to it, but there's a conclusive downgrade.
Yeah, that's true. But we have always been bullish on the fundamentals of this company, and that has not been the only part of the narrative.
Joe, I guess you're pleased by these numbers. What do you want to hear from on the earnings call that would sort of cement your optimism?
Well, to be fair, I'm optimistic on the company more as a result of what we see happening over the next several years, not just what happened today. What happened today is nice. I'd like to hear about plans for making the Model 3 profitably at lower price points, preferably $45,000 or below. And I'd like to hear about plans for continuing to address the liquidity situation. I think that's pretty important, in particular if they do decide to try and build a plant in China next year. That could take some money as well. But I do think the numbers today are a validation of our longer-term thesis, which is that the company can continue to grow at a rate multiples of the industry, which is, by the way, why we're buyers of the stock, despite it being more expensive than any other automotive company.
So, Nancy, maybe you can jump in here because you're not a holder of Tesla stock anymore, and you've got a pair of bullish analysts. What are you still worried about here?
I mean, what we talked about earlier, I'm worried about sustainability. I'm worried about the management depth of the organization. I mean, there's a number of senior level people that have left, and that takes time to integrate and rebuild. And then if we get the leadership at the board level, that is compelling, and that would be a time to step back and say, okay, maybe this is sustainable, and maybe it's time. We took the first double, and that tends to be the least risky, and now you really need to see the fundamentals, as Mike said, and value the company on those fundamentals.
Romit, what about those governance questions? I mean, that's something that the bears are circling on.
It's an important question, and you know, in the coming weeks, the company is going to announce a new chairman. I think that hire is really going to be scrutinized and very important as far as it relates to the company's corporate governance, how they are, you know, going to communicate with the public via social media. Their guidance practices, who they hire is going to be very key.
Does a James Murdoch chairmanship, Romit, for you make it investable again and take away those leadership questions that you had?
No, I'd like to see them hire somebody externally.